What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. So, the Lions have now completed all of their warm-up tests. They're going to be going up against South Africa in that best of 3 or maybe 3-0. Who knows which way it could go. But we'll see how that one gets on. So, we're going to be leading up to the South Africa tests. So, I thought it'd be fun to pick the starting 23 that I would pick to go up against this South Africa team. This is by no means the team I believe will actually get picked. It will probably be not the team you believe will get picked. So make sure to go friendly in the comments. We see this every week when we do the team of the week, so it goes awfully wrong. So be nice for a second. So what I'll do, I don't really sure I'm going to do this one. What I'll do is I'll chuck the team up on here for you guys. This is the team I've picked. And hold on, don't start commenting and disliking and this is a terrible team. Don't do that. Hold it together. There are reasons why I have picked certain people in certain positions, why I've left some people out. I don't know if I'm going to fit them all in one screen. If I haven't, I'll check the replacements on screen now for you guys as well, so you can see it's going to be sort of my finishers is what I wanted to do. So what I've designed here is the team I would take into this first test. Now this is probably going to be a very different team to something you guys would pick. The reasons why I pick players, I will go through each sort of section and explain why I pick those players over other players, why some players may be on the bench who you guys would definitely think would be starting. For me, this is a team that I've designed that I think I want to play a long game. This games that you tend to have against South Africa, they're not first half wins. No one puts 30 points on the other team in first half. This is a late game team. This is designed to hold the Springboks off as much as possible, hopefully getting you some points along the way. And then when you see that sort of 60th minute transition, that's where this team is designed to try and explode. And I've got to try and get as much coverage across the team as possible. So let's have a quick talk through about the team and about why I picked some of the picks. So starting off in the front row, Wyn Jones, Ken Owens, Tadhg Furlong. Why have I gone down that route? Well, Wyn Jones to me has been the standout loose head pretty much across the tournament. I think he's outshone Mako Vunipola, and really I don't think Rory Sutherland's had the tournament he would have liked himself to have had. So for me, Wyn Jones has been outstanding. Carrying the ball, scrummaging and turnover rate I think has been fantastic. I think he's a solid player, so he's going to take my number 1 position. Tadhg Furlong I think has probably been the best tight head for me personally. Xander Ferguson's tried and may even be better running play wise, but I think comparatively the scrummaging for me, Tadhg Furlong, I've enjoyed seeing a lot more from him. So I went for Tadhg Furlong in the tight head for that reason. And then personally, I like to see at least 2 out of the 3 have a good connection. I like to see the pairings. I talk about it every week in the preview videos that I do. Pairings in a team can be very useful. So for me, I want to see a front row with a pairing. So I either needed a Welsh hooker or I wanted an Irish hooker. I know that Kelleher's now out there with them, but I've gone for Ken Owens. Now, I actually don't believe Ken Owens is as good as Kalandicki has been on this tournament. However, I think to me Kawandicki's much more of an impact player, and I want to see him come on in that late game and really shine. I don't think he'll have as much impact as we saw against the Stormers. I think against the South African team it's much more difficult to get going forwards because especially with them at full stamina, full capacity, ready to go, you won't make an impact. So to me, Kawandicki's going to be the late impact player. So what you need is a player that's going to hold your team together, solid scrum, solid line out, and just be a dependable hooker. And that's why I've gone for Ken Owens over some people who probably would have been picked in different positions. Towards the lock department, this is one that I didn't think was going to be the choices I would have made. I did do a video before the Lions team was even announced of who I would pick for my Lions team, and this one will probably be very different. So, number 4, Adam Beard. I think he's impressed, actually, on this tour. A couple of people I could see wanted to go down the Itoje route here. For me, Adam Beard came in against a lot of people's sort of, wills, or thought he would definitely not be picked for this tournament. I thought it was an outlandish pick, and Adam Beard has played very well since coming on this tournament. The line-outs has been very good for him, the line-out steals has been good for him, and the breaking through the mauling system has been very good. We know how much the South African team likes to use mauls. Now, I want to see him get in there, and I've paired him with Ian Henderson, who I think has been very good across the board, and Ian Henderson for me might get my captaincy. It would be between him and Stuart Hogg, but I quite like a forward being captain, so Ian Henderson would get my captaincy. Now, Adam Beard has played 5 with the Lions a couple of times. I don't like him there. I much prefer him at 4. Ian Henderson has had experience at 4 and 5, club, international, and at Lions. Can do it. So Ian Henderson gets in at 5, and I'm going to put Adam Beard in there. Sort of a similar reason to Ken Owens. He's going to be dependable. You know what he's going to bring. He hasn't given away too many penalties through this tournament, whereas someone like Itoje is still giving away penalties that you don't want him to see doing. Alan Wynne, for me, I know he's back, but I don't think he's had enough game time, enough minutes. I know Alan Wynne will most likely be in the starting team because that's why he's come back in. But for me, I'm going to go for Adam Beard in that 4 position. Ian Henderson, the breakdown situation, the tackling situation, the line-out wins he has. He was top of the board in the Six Nations, and I don't think he's gone down too much in this Lions team. So for me, he gets my number 5 shirt. This back row, a couple of big choices here. I've gone for Navidi at 6, Hamish Watson at that coveted number 7 shirt that so many people are talking about, and finally Sam Simmons at 8. Now there's certainly a couple of talking points here. I think Navidi's been brilliant since he's come on the tour. The breakdown area, again for him, the tackling area for him, it's going to be so big against South Africa using their forwards. You just want to be able to shut them down, and if you can get turnovers, it's absolutely worth having players here that can get the turnover. I bet a couple of people are surprised not to see Tyke Byrne in here. There's reasons why. I will get on to that. Hamish Watson taking the 7th shirt. I think he's been great on this tour. Strong, good ball carrying again. The turnover rate is absolutely superb. A couple of people again will want Tom Curry. We'll get on to that. Hamish Watson for me, the ball carrying. I think Tom Curry will be a great impact player from the bench again, sort of similar to what I'm expecting Kalandicki to be. But Hamish Watson for me, from minute 1, will be able to get in there, will be able to carry the ball, wear down some of those South African forwards, and I think he'll be a good pick. And Sam Simmons at 8, mainly for the explosive running power. For me, Faletau's been quiet. Again, people talking on the commentary teams about how amazing Faletau is. He's had a fantastic tournament. For me, I haven't seen it. I just haven't seen him have that game comparatively to Jack Conan, who's running so well with the ball in hand, and Sam Simmons, who's just playing well all over the field, really. There's a couple of penalties here and there, but other than that, he's really got his game down. The offloading game from him is superb. The running game from him has been really good. I haven't got to see a lot of him at club level, and in this Lions tour, I've really got to see why he was added into the team. So, for me, I'm going to go Sam Simmons at 8. The halfback partnership, I've gone for Ali Price and Dan Beggar. To me, Conor Murray hasn't impressed to be that starting scrum half for me. I know he got sort of announced as sort of the tour captain when Alan Wynne went out, but for me, I think Ali Price has been a bit head and shoulders above the other scrum halves. Gareth Davis is doing okay from the bench for me. From starting play, I'm just not seeing it from him. And Dan Beggar, I think, has just stood out in that fly half position. Finn Russell, of course, I think will still be out really with that Achilles injury that he's picked up. And Owen Farrell, for me, not quite landing that fly half position. Dan Beggar looks to be the most impressive there. Marcus Smith had a good game, but of course, against the Stormers, not quite the same thing as playing the South African team. I'm sure he might get a play somewhere further down the line, but for me, not in this starting game. I would want a combo that works. Dan Beggar plays similarly to some of the other fly halves, like a Sexton. Not quite the same as Finn Russell, but from what we've seen, Ali Price and Dan Beggar can work together. I think kicking from the two of them, Dan Beggar for positional kicking and Ali Price for box kicking, are probably the two best at the minute. So for me, that's why I've gone for that halfback partnership, but also Dan Beggar kicking towards the post is looking pretty good at the moment. Let's do the centres first. I've gone for Bundee Aki and Chris Harris. Now, this is very against my choices, in all honesty, but I'm quite liking this partnership setup. Chris Harris is doing very well. The defensive work for him stepped up so much from a year ago for me. I thought he's doing really well in that 13 shirt. I like him at 13. The running lines he is picking, as well as the defensive effort. He is the man on the shoulder, the offload player. I'm really liking him in that 13, and I don't really want to see him move to 12, so that's why I put him at 13. And Bundee Aki, not someone I wanted to go on the tour, not someone I picked to even be anywhere near the tour, in all honesty, but he got on. And I've been liking to see what Warren Gatland's been doing with him. Rather than the Irish setup of just having him be the crash ball off the ruck, off the scrum, the first man, first receiver, straight out of forwards, not doing anything. Warren Gatland's used him differently to actually run on a diagonal and actually carve a line, trying to go between where your fly half and scrum half will run off of those rucks and scrums. And I really like that thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if Andy Farrell looks at what Warren Gatland's done with Bundee Aki and actually tries to implement that a bit more into the Irish shirt. And what I want to see there is Bundee Aki making those crash ball lines, making forwards commit to the tackle, however then getting the offload to a man on his shoulder, someone like Chris Harris, always there waiting for the ball. So I think as a 12-13 combo it will work nicely. And again, this is a team designed to play that sort of 50-60 minutes, wear the players down, smashing the ball through. You've got Chris Harris there if it goes wrong for the defensive element, and Bundee Aki there. Someone's going to need to commit one or probably two tackles just to take him down. Wears those tacklers out. I think it's a good partnership in that centre position. And then finally on to the back three, where most people will probably be kicking off in the comments. I've gone for Josh Adams at 11, Reece Zammit at 14, and Stuart Hogg in that full-back position. For me, Stuart Hogg's looking really good at full-back. I have talked him down a year ago, 18 months ago, but I thought he played really well for Scotland, and I thought even on this Lions tour he's played very well. The boot he has, the distance he can have with the kicking is superb. The counter running. Now, South Africa are a team that like to kick. And I think if they've already displayed in that South Africa A game, they are going to be kicking, they are going to be doing box kicking. Now, Faf de Klerk's a great box kicker who doesn't give you time. However, we did see a couple of those kicks not being the best and giving someone time. Now, Liam Williams is the sort of player that would be good under the high ball. However, the counter running from him is definitely leaving a little bit to be desired for me. Whereas Stuart Hogg's counter running, we're seeing it time and time again. He is finding room, he is finding space, and he's also got less selfish with it, which is so nice to see. The biggest criticism I have of Stuart Hogg is he counter runs and just doesn't pass it when he can do. He's definitely learned it. We saw in that Stormers game, the offloads coming from him, looking to play the ball outside, looking to take a final winger and offload to another winger, I think is a great move. The partnership for him now with Zammit, again, that Stormers game recently, we've seen it in other games. Zammit is just that guy that if he has room, he'll score a try, and I think that's what you need against the Springboks. If you can narrow their defence in, give it to him and let him run down that wing, get a try. You know, points are going to be hard to come by. You want someone who's just going to get those points. And the reason I've gone for Josh Adams in that winger should, I think most people have Josh Adams nailed on, whether it be left wing or right wing. But why I've gone for these people over Duhan van der Merwe is I just don't believe Duhan van der Merwe would be able to handle Colby in the defensive element. There's been a couple of games now where we've seen him at those club level teams, left wingers making their way round Duhan van der Merwe, the inside step. That South Africa A team, we saw Colby hasn't lost that ability. He's still going to be doing it. I don't think Duhan van der Merwe would be able to hold him. I think Josh Adams' defensive work would be able to keep him in check enough throughout the game just to shut him down as much as they can do. And Reece Zammit, we already saw it. You know, that South Africa game, he will chase down Colby, and the speed you can add into that game, whether it's Colby or Nkosi that takes a left wing, I'm sure Mapimpi's probably looking to get on that wing as well. I think the speed of the two of them is worth the power of Duhan van der Merwe to be able to shut down those players. And I think it will probably be a good setup, but I can imagine that's where most people want to disagree with me about this team. I'm quickly looking through the finishers, as I am going to call them. They're not replacements. This is very much a finishers team. Luke Kalandicki been impressive in that hooker position. I want to see him come on in that 60th minute. The tap and goes on the 5 metre line. The line out superb from him, and the scrummaging good from him. I've paired him alongside Mako Vunipola and Kyle Sinclair, an all-English front row, designed to come on in that late game when the South Africa players are putting on their own forwards. You put on an all-English forwards team that plays together well in that front row. Hopefully the scrummaging can hold up well. The Sinclair scrummaging's been good. Mako Vunipola's been a bit flip-flop for me, but he can work well, and the pick and go from Mako Vunipola is good. And Luke Kalandicki, I think if you gel that together, you remove the idea of penalties in the scrum, which is what South Africa will be looking for. If you can remove that from South Africa, they just can only use that scrum as a platform and not a penalty to move further up, which is what they're looking for. That begins to shut that down, and that's why I've gone for that replacement 3 there to come on at some point. It probably in that 50-60 minute marker. I have also gone for a 6-2 split between forwards and backs, because I think it's going to be that sort of game where the South Africa like to use their forwards. They'll most likely go for the 6-2 split. You've got to match it with a 6-2 split. In the 19-20-21, Maro Itoje, Tyg Byrne, Tom Curry. Again, these are all players that could start, and most people will probably have them in their team to start, I would imagine. The reason I've done this is just pure coverage. It's a physical game against South Africa. People will pick up injuries, people will pick up knocks, people will need to be replaced. If people aren't playing well, you need to replace them yourself. So, let's go through why these people have been picked for me. Maro Itoje is a great lock. He can play 4 or 5, but I've also partnered it up with 2 other locks in this game that can also play 4 or 5 if they need to, but there's one more dedicated to the 5 shirt in Ian Henderson. Adam Beard has had experience on this Lions team of playing 5, so either Maro Itoje comes on at 4 and Adam Beard moves to 5, or Maro Itoje comes on as a direct sub for Beard. He can also play flanker if he really needs to in that 6 shirt. We very rarely get to see it in that international level, but he can do it, so I think it also covers that position. Tyg Byrne covers 4, 5 and 6 and has looked good in every position, in all honesty. So the coverage there for me, willing to come on at any point and play brilliantly. Most likely for me, I would look to put Itoje on as a direct sub for Adam Beard, and at some point I would put Tyg Byrne on at 6 to replace Navidi. Once the breakdowns have gone, Tyburn, brilliant on the running play. We saw him get tries against the Stormers. We've seen him get tries against some of the other club level teams. The breakdown work for him, the tackle rate is good. But I want to see him with those fresh legs because people like Tyburn won't have that impact in the first game. They are fantastic players who you want to see play well. And bring them on in that 50th minute, even as early as 50 minutes. Have him on, let him play half hour, and that impact will certainly kick in later in the game. And that's why I've gone for Tyburn there. And finally, Tom Curry, the exact same reason. Tom Curry, 6, 7 and 8. The coverage, brilliant. Anyone you want to go anywhere. For me, I would put him on as a replacement directly for Hamish Watson, but could play 8 if Sam Simmons picks up an injury along the way. I could see Sam Simmons being able to play an 80-minute game and would just take it easier in the first half. No big run plays from him. Just hold it out and let the backs do their work. And then you bring on Tom Curry as a Hamish Watson sub at some point in that game. Brings very much the same skill set as Hamish Watson, the ball carrying, the strike run, but also the breakdown turnovers that we can see Tom Curry do. And I think as we get later into that game, South Africa probably don't like to use their backs as much towards that late game. They like to just depend on forwards to do it, and that's where you want someone like Tom Curry, fresh legs, ready to go, break down in that 5-metre channel on your own try line, bang, turnover. And that's why I've gone for Tom Curry in that 21 shirt. And the final two here, probably a couple of surprise options here, but again, for me, it's coverage. Conor Murray in that 22 shirt can play at scrum half, but also can play fly half if you really need him to. So Dan Beggar picks up that injury. Conor Murray can bolster that position, get in there. He doesn't need to worry about the kicking, but he can do it if he needs to. Stuart Hogg has also played fly half, so that's all covered. He can come on as a direct sub for Ali Price if you need him to. You've got that combo then. Conor Murray and Dan Beggar have played together in this Lions tour and have looked good together. I think that works for me, but also plays that fly half if you need him to. Can kick towards the post if you need him to, but also just as a second distributor, someone with a passing ability of a scrum half, playing fly half, just to allow your wingers and your centres to explode that little bit more. And then finally, Elliott Daley. Can play centre, can play fullback. Now, one of the reasons that I've done here is I put Chris Harris on specifically because he can play both 12 and 13. The movement here for me would probably be Elliott Daley comes on at 13 and Chris Harris moves to 12. You retain the defensive element and Bundyacki's done his job of weakening forwards. That way Bundyacki can come off and Elliott Daley can come on in that 13. If Stuart Hogg does pick up a knock, Josh Adams can move to fullback if you need him to, and Elliott Daley can go on the wing, or Elliott Daley comes straight on at fullback as we see him do in that England team so much. You have great coverage, but also, the final reason for this, Elliott Daley with the long range kicking, it's something we haven't seen in this Lions tour yet. The ability for Elliott Daley to kick to post from the halfway line, from beyond the halfway line. And I'm going to utilise Elliott Daley almost like the Australians do with Reece Hodge. They have him in that 23 shirt and he doesn't come on for 60, 70 minutes. It's a close game. These Lions South Africa games are going to be close. There's probably going to be 5 points in it, maybe either way. And in that 70th minute, when you're on your halfway line, if people are giving away penalties, that's the time. Bring on Elliott Daley, big cannon leg, bang, 3 from the end. There could be 1 point in it by the 80th minute. And if you get that penalty opportunity, Dan Beggar's played a full game, may not want to have the range kick. Conor Murray can do percentage kicking, but for me doesn't have the great length on his kicks that he can do. That's where Elliott Daley steps in. And also the running play that we've seen him do so much now in that 13 shirt. He's had a much better tour for the Lions than he did do for that England Six Nations. So hopefully we would get to see him come on in that second half and be the impact player. So like I said, guys, this is a late game design team designed to win. It's not the best team. It's not the best players in each position. It's not designed just to be with who would be sort of the best in air quotes. I've tried to design an actual team I think could compete for 80 minutes and would maybe seal out the game at the end of that 80 minutes and not be looking to try and win it within the first half, within the first 50, first 60 or what have you. So that's the team I've come up with. Is probably a very different team to what you guys would come up with. So make sure you do drop down in the comments who your team would be, what order would you have them in, because I like reading through people's comments and it'd be nice to see what other people have come up with and the reasons why they come up with that team. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave this video a like. I am trying to organise some chats with some other rugby YouTubers coming up towards the South African game, so make sure you subscribe to the channel just to keep up to date with all the latest videos as they come out, and hopefully this video gets out before the official announcement, or otherwise this would be a bit pointless. But by the time I film this, the official announcement isn't out. But I hope you've all enjoyed today, guys. If you have done, make sure to drop this video a like, and I will see you all next time, guys. Bye bye.